Hello. As you can see, we're going to be doing something a little different today. I figured that since it keeps throwing off my schedule in several ways, I'd show off a little bit of what has been keeping me distracted as of late. Outside of mods in my end, which let me do things like open up a map and see the world, this is all a vanilla server that can be accessed as long as you get the right version of Minecraft. But this is a server called Monumenta, which I discovered a few years back. Oh, whoops, I forgot to sell a bunch of stuff. Alright, we'll make a quick detour real quick. The basic structure of the game is that... Okay, way back in, like, early Minecraft, there were a bunch of maps where your main goal was, at the end, there'd be a big monument thing, and generally you'd have to clear a whole bunch of challenges across a large, fairly deadly map, which also had survival elements. And the basic premise of this is based on that idea. So, a bunch of this stuff. I don't really need it. I only have it in here because when I sell here I get a better deal than when I sell it using an item you get that lets you sell from your inventory. That's everything from the Isles. The Isles, which is where I am now, is the second zone of the game. But I'm not going to be doing any second zone stuff. The only thing I know is that there are 3 zones in the game. And loot is divided between each of those zones. So anything from the first zone can carry into the second zone, but anything from the second zone cannot back carry into the first. But to start with, I'll go ahead and head to my little plot of land. It's fairly basic. All I did was divide out my loot based on where I got it. All of this is my first realm loot stuff. This is all my second realm loot stuff because I'm waiting until I complete the second realm before I build up higher. You can barely see it, but up there's a block. That's the ceiling. I put that there. This also goes down pretty far, but I'm not sure how far is pretty far. It's still very in progress. I think this is a box quest item, so yeah, I hold on to them. I don't need to, but I do. Someone here's my old stuff from when I reset my character. Speaking of resetting character, a little awkward, but there is only one slot, like character slot-wise. There's no way to have multiple characters on this. However, all of your actual character stats and everything is based on your equipment. So technically resetting your character is as simple as, if you don't actually want to reset everything, just pop it all on the chest and put it on a new set of gear. Pretty straightforward. Alright, I need to actually not use that because that comes from the second area. Let me find... There we go, there's my Vermin's End. I'll stick that in there, and I'll quickly empty this into a box somewhere. That'll do. This will be my purple dungeon storage area, which I cleared last night. So there's two main forms of content in this game. Real quick, I'll do a bounty to show off the overworld content. It's lagging when I open the chest because of a texture pack, actually. No other reason. Something about potions and the fact it gives extra detail or something. Texture pack is optional, but nice to have, because otherwise all your equipment just looks like Minecraft stuff. Alright, we're gonna head back to the main world. And we're gonna head up the stairs to a town called Far. And right over here, and up these stairs, I can get a bounty. I don't really want to do any of these. But I don't know what Whispering Woods is. Is this in the Grove? Yeah, we'll go there. Alright, so now we're gonna head over to... Yeah, actually no, we'll start from Far. Yeah, no, we'll start from Far. That gives you a bit of an idea of the world. I got time. For the most part, pretty much most of the first area is jungle based. There's an ocean / small sea out to the west of the city, and there's a swamp around the city, but for the most part you're gonna be in a jungle. With a lot of things being jungle themed. And yeah, important note, as you can see from those random blocks there, the world does occasionally reset and destroy them, but I can place and destroy blocks whenever I wish, except for in certain areas that are like puzzle zones or city zones. But out in the world and out in dungeons, I can do as much block destruction and construction as I wish. This is definitely going to be a one-off thing. I'm going to turn the music down a little. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a one-off thing. Unless for some reason... Nah, as I said, I would have to reset. I don't know about the reset. I would have to go through a lot if I wanted to restart from the beginning of this. My basic plan for this is just generally show off what it is, and then I'll run through a dungeon. I should set my compass to... there we go. It actually points at where we're going. Oh, 1 second, need to adjust how I'm sitting. Slouching too much. I should note, I am a wizard, but there are lots of different classes. And the basic idea of every location is that there are spawners that need to be cleared, otherwise not zombies. It's my state of decay. The enemies are going to keep coming. So as long as you clear out the spawners, there won't be enemies. However, they don't work like normal Minecraft spawners. They do have somewhat of a set delay to them. Alright, we're gonna drop down here. It's faster than going through. Technically, there's a much faster way to reach this destination, but I didn't care to do that right now. I'll go ahead and get my boat. I'm still fairly tired after last night. Sword, it's too slow to actually destroy the boat. There we go. Right, where am I actually going? I'm probably going to fight my way through this town over here. At least real quick. So here we can see this is a point of interest. When you go into one, there'll be enemies, of course. And your goal on a point of interest is to... Oops. When I'm in the second zone, I have an ability that's bound to F, but when I'm in the first zone, that doesn't actually do anything. The general idea is you want to destroy the spawners, so one, things stop spawning, but two, you'll get extra loot at the end once you've destroyed a percentage of the spawners. But there's also chests, which obviously contain things you want. Like, this is basically money. Each region has its own money. We also have equipment. That anything below 5, I'm just going to sell immediately from here, and then deposit into my bank. That's why you don't want to let your guard down. Make sure that the room's actually secure before you loot. At this point, I'm pretty well equipped for this area, so I might die, but it's not likely. And technically, I don't need to be clearing this area, so I probably shouldn't. We have other priorities. I'm just going to briefly poke down here and see if I can find any cool loot. Nom nom nom. Alright, up this way. Up the stairs, I mean. Before I get distracted. Should be the way out of town, up into the further points of this zone. Nothing in there. Alright, let's just move on. Someone clearly took that path up there, but we're going to take the stairs. I don't have enough blocks on me to be taking shortcuts like that. Now this is my infinite food source. It's pretty helpful to have one. I mean, this is the mansion. Where am I going? I don't think I've been to the place that I'm going to. There? Oh, I have been here. I thought this was something else. Oh, this is a fun one. Alright, here we go. Generally, spawners aren't going to start working until you get in the range. I see them. There we go. And spawners for stronger enemies are going to generally take longer before they actually spawn. Here, there's an extra objective of destroying these is going to open up the door once we destroy enough of them. But I'm not too worried about that. Well, actually, there might be a spawner in there, so I might be. But I don't think I need to get that many spawners. And clearly, there's a spawner nearby us because these guys are coming from somewhere. There it is. I saw the smoke coming out of it. Creepers do exist still. That's a trap. One way or another, I found myself in the trap. It's going well. Alright, that guy's dead at least. Creeper's gonna keep exploding, we can handle that. Luckily his shield heals me while I'm holding it. Right now I just gotta get out of this hole. That's powder. I could just use my blocks, but I'm trying to clear my inventory of all the stuff just threw at me. There we go. You can turn on a filter to not pick stuff up, but I haven't bothered to do that yet. And there's a redstone block, there we go. Alright, so that path is clear. What was that? There must be some sort of passageway up there. There appears to be another evoker active somewhere, because... I'm being attacked by Vex. Okay, doesn't look like there's a reason to go there. That's not an ability I have. Oh, there we go. I'm a wizard. So even a wizard has to pull out a bow sometimes. All skills are based on cooldown rates, not like any sort of mana pool or anything. And technically I'm a little more powerful than you would normally be here. Because normally I would not have access to like two of my abilities that I have right now. Just because you don't have enough skill points. However, some of the skill points you get in the second zone do back carry over to the first zone. And when I say first and second zone, these are more to like the scale of like entire games, pretty much. Not like a small area, but like there's an entire story that takes place in the first zone and the second zone. The second zone is an entirely different world space with new mechanics. I need to back off. Cover. See if we got some of these spawners, reduce the amount coming at us. This is the door that's going to open later, I believe. I don't think I can break. Okay, I can break through this. It wasn't this door. It's a different door that opens. Let's make sure this is clear first. Then we'll head in and pointlessly risk our life by jumping in the middle of a fray. Alright, everything died. I wasn't expecting that. I figured they'd stick around a little longer. But unfortunately, that teleport I have is like its 18-second cooldown. So it's a good, I can use this every once in a while, but occasionally I do just have to put some blocks down. It does do damage in an area though. Okay, why is this red? Poison. Dang it. Alright, what about you? Are you also poisoned? Nope, that's TNT. Even though that chest did just explode, we can still get the contents of the chest. Because one, it dropped, and also two, when things explode, it drops a shulker that contains everything that was in the explosion. And that also applies to when ground items get destroyed as well. So you don't have to worry about your loot getting destroyed. Ow. Oh, you're still alive. Not too sure where I am. I didn't find this section last time. Pressure plates? Oh, I'm trapped. That's not a good sign. I mean, I could just break the wall, but generally when there's a trap, there's a reason for it. And I'm gonna deal with the Vex down there before anything else. Get in the middle of the room, use my AoE. No. That guy needs to die. I gotta re-equip my heart here. Get this from... You get this from the boss of the region. Uh-oh. Okay, everything's fine. That could have turned out bad, but it did not. There are some fairly deadly traps here. That's a trap. Or not. It's something. Alright, some of you have a box of potions. There we go. Part of the reason why I didn't play anything else today is because I am stuffed up. Alright, I'm not sure why that exploded. I figured it'd reveal a path, but, I mean, technically, I could break through this, but I'm not gonna do that. Just go around. Also, I don't think I can just take this TNT. Ah, farming. That's fun. I can I just take TNT. Alright, I'll just throw that in my pink shulker. That's where I keep my other TNT. It has its uses. Sometimes you might be inflicted with mining fatigue, which is going to make it hard to destroy spawners. So an explosive solution is generally a good idea at that point. That's where we came from, so this is a path we haven't been. Yep, that's a Vex. Just use AoEs on that guy. Don't have to deal with it. Yeah, my mage is very AoE heavy, not very single target heavy, so anything that actually has a lot of health, if I can't take it out in all my AoEs, it is actually a problem. So believe it or not, 40 is not a lot of health. It's when things have 100 health you have problems. And I know this because at some point I was going through a POI and someone who was a different class came by and just one-shot half the things, and I was like, what the heck am I doing? Over here risking my life trying to kill these elites and they just fall over dead. That could have been bad. Oops, didn't mean to open that. There we go. Alright, that's destroyed. I believe that's just the other side of that wall, right? Yeah, that's the other side of that wall. So if I come over here, this is an entrance to the area. Right, there we go. I believe there's still one more of those, because it still says the lock is just clicking. So that's just there to tell you that you are in fact doing something by destroying those. Risky, but I'm going for it. Still lock clicking, there's one more probably. Shut the door. Most things can't get us if we shut the door. Generally put the chat a decent amount, but I've got it turned off right now just while I'm doing this. And it makes it easier to do quests when the chat log isn't moving. But sometimes you have to click on a certain dialogue option. Alright. I think we're nearing the end of this. I have a feeling a reward chest is going to pop up here in a few spawners. Yeah, there we go. Whispering Woods conquered. Means technically we are done here, but I'm going to stick around for long enough to open up that door. And we were just in here. Problem is that the lock is still just clicking. I think we're missing one more. But where would it be? Where would it be? Pretty sure the actual entrance is over here. Yeah, smash gems open the way. I do have a decent reason for doing this. There's a rare enemy you can encounter sometimes behind there. Definitely got this. I hear something on my left. Which is a totally valid strategy. You can totally just dig through things as long as there's not bad rock blocking you. Still just a lock clicking, it's not open. But maybe from here we can find wherever the next thing we're missing is. So clearly this is a branch that we didn't look in. You get this up here? Yeah, that's the house. Any buried bodies? Oh, there's a spawner. Alright. There's still one left. Presumably. If I don't find it here soon, I'll just go ahead and leave the area, but I do want to make an attempt to find it. No, we already have that. I think I hear things, but I don't. That also just connects to there. Wait, hold on, there's redstone. There we go, it's open. The wood was off color was how I was supposed to signify to find that. And typically you'd have non-infinite food, but I already have infinite food, so handy. Otherwise, you buy a mass amount of steak using some of your earnings from these areas. Make sure the room is clear before we do anything in here. Alright. Yep, that's Mimic. Gotta be careful when you're running from him because he might teleport behind you. There we go. That's a green. Here, tier 5. I don't have those set to sell, so. There we go. Okay, what about this one? Non-mimic. And the middle? Potion thing. And this is a person who probably does some patron stuff, yeah. They want some tomes from somewhere, all to combine into this tome here that does some stuff that I don't care about because it's not magical. But in reality, I'll probably care about eventually. Because I like to collect stuff. But first I collect the stuff that I actually need. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and head out of here. Instead of running back, I'm gonna go ahead and make use of a magical item I have. And we're back here. Then to go back to far, we'll go ahead and turn in our bounty. You get one of these bounties a day per zone. Minus on the weekends when you get 2 here. I'm going to stick that in my inner chest, and then we'll go see what we can get with those crystals. Alright, let's go look at what we can get. This way, actually. No, wait, that's class. Actually, no, let's take a look at class. We'll look at mine, and then we'll look at some of the ones that I'm not. I'll go over what things I can do. So, class. I'm a mage. My ability damage is boosted by 1 spell power stat. Yeah, that makes sense. And after using the ability, my next melee attack deals 20% more damage. That's less relevant. Alright, so my basic thing is I've got, when I right-click, I've got Mana Lance, which just fires a beam that does damage and has a low cooldown. I have Arcane Strike, which, when I attack, deals an explosion on a cooldown, which does bonus damage if they're on fire or slowed. Which they'll be slowed through the usage of Frost Nova, which is an AoE around me, which apparently I need to pay more attention to because mobs and players on fire are extinguished. So I need to make sure I use Frost Nova before I use Magma Shield, which is Frost Nova except it's in front of me and does fire. Both of which have a pretty long cooldown relative to my Mana Lance. I also have my Thunder Step. I said it's a 20-second cooldown. Low damage, but it teleports me. And deals damage when I land it. Spell Shock makes it to where I deal extra damage using that Spell Shock. I don't know, Spell Shock is weird and hard to explain. Prismatic Shield would help me stay alive, but I don't have enough points to claim it. Elemental Arrows is good for that. And that's Mage. I'm also technically an Arcanist, which is my specialization. This comes from the second zone. Here I'm getting things like, and this doesn't apply here as I said, because that's second zone. But when I cast 8 spells, it resets 2 of my cooldowns on 2 of my last spells. Or, this is the one I keep trying to use, press F to slash twice, which reduces my cooldowns. Or Astral Omen, where when I hit an enemy with a spell that is a different element from the last spell, it will deal a large amount of damage to it. Which is handy. Alternatively, oops, didn't even close that all the way. I could have been Elementalist, which would have given me Starfall, which is a meteor. I could have an Elemental Spirit thing, which apparently is all about casting fire and ice and doing that. And an Ice Blizzard. Or, you know, I could have been an entirely different class, like an Alchemist, and all of this stuff, or a Cleric. And I've unlocked all of these subclasses because you kind of need to do that eventually. Your specializations, not subclasses, but it's all pretty neat. I don't understand any of these other classes, haven't played any of them yet. I figure if I ever end up playing with someone, I'll probably throw all my mage stuff in a box and pick up one of these classes. But anyways, we need to... oh wait, no, it is here. Royal Spellbinder. This is what we do with our Royal Crystals. We buy shulker boxes. As you can see, I have a bunch. Though only these purple ones are ones that I bought. The white ones, the pink one, the magenta one, and the purple one are ones that I either earned through the story or got through other means. But the main priority is you want to buy this experience flask, because that lets you store your money, and then you want to upgrade that to the experience bucket, which lets you store all currencies here. And then I have mine further upgraded to this crystal collector, which stores everything in both zones. This is the second zone currency. There's also in here an epic, which you can earn, but for that we need pulsating gold. These epics are the absolute best stuff in the area, usually. Okay, not really the best stuff, because technically this stuff doesn't help me at all. It's just a bunch of armor and attack speed. But still nice, and I'm going to earn it eventually. Generally, each zone's epic gear has a different source. So yeah, we get this from Royal Crystals, but there's another part that you win from a casino. For that, we need 30 pulsating gold, which I have 1. And for pulsating gold, you need Royal Dust, which is a good time to explain dungeons. / rare stuff in general. So, with that spell menu and all that, classes and stuff, how do I get those? The answer is dungeons. You don't gain levels from dungeons. Sorry, I was distracted trying to remember when I started those. Sorry. You gain levels from dungeons, you don't gain levels from just killing monsters. Every time you clear a dungeon, you gain a skill point. Meanwhile, what you actually do with your levels is usually turn them into repair anvils. I have a bunch of them. And we can go ahead and, if we had any rares, these are the rares. These ones you'll find just in the valley. Sometimes you'll open a chest and you'll find them in any sort of location. And you can take any one of these, and you can turn them into a fragment, and from there you can turn that into orbital dust. And as you saw, we need like, was it 2 per pulsating gold? Yeah, 2 world dust per pulsating gold. So for this, we need to find 60 rares, is what that is saying. Which is, in fact, a lot of rares. Epic stuff is generally stuff you have to work towards for a while. But assuming it is actually something you want to use, is generally going to be the best stuff. But now let's get the dungeons. Do I have arrows first? We're a little low on arrows. Let's buy some arrows. So earlier we went through the point of interest, which was the forest, which was kind of dungeon-like in terms of what you might imagine the scale of a dungeon to be. It was fairly long, decent amount of enemies. No, that's not what a dungeon is. Dungeons are not designed to be done in one sitting, I would say. You can do them in one sitting, but they're absolutely not one designed for it. Oh, I'm not switching to buying multiple, that's why I'm not getting a bunch of arrows. And I could probably buy better arrows, but I don't care. I only use my arrows for when things are outside of range. So dungeons. Down here is the shortcut hall of the dungeons. This is also a dungeon, but it's not relevant. This is the most basic dungeon. Sorry, wrong one. This is the most basic dungeon in the Alchemy Labs. It's your tutorial dungeon, and unlike every other dungeon in the game, you can complete it as many times as you want. Which is now when we get to the part where I said that implies that there's an alternative to as many times as you want. These dungeons, oops, knockouts go, can only be done once a week. Which sounds limiting until you realize that there's like 20 of them, and you're probably not actually going to do them all in a week. You're probably going to do like 1 or 3, or 1 to 3, maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. If you really push, you can get done with a bunch, but they are long. And we're not doing this one. This one's not a great one to show off. Back to here. We are going to do this one. This is Arcane Rivalry, which is the light blue wool dungeon. And we're going to come over here. Oh, wait, wrong. We're going to come over here. I'm going to buy a key. And we're going to go on in. Except we're going to do this not as a regular instance, but a delve instance. Now you'll note it says 4 to 8 players. I am 1 player, so too bad. So with delves, we have modifiers we can apply to the dungeon. And your goal with delves, if you're a solo person, is to reach 12 points total. I don't know if I want Transcendent, actually. Spectres is already deadly enough. Colossal. Pernicious can be a pain, but I'll activate it. Same with Bloodthirsty. Legionary can be bad, but I'll activate that. I'll boost Colossi chance, maybe. No. I'll boost Arcanic chance. That's not too big a deal. Neither is that one. I definitely don't want both elites transforming into new enemies and elites empowered. That would be overkill. Protective Shell is kind of a pain when I'm a mage, is why I haven't selected that one. There's also weekly modifiers, but these are far more deadly. I guess I'll take Chivalrous. It just sometimes goes very poorly when I do that. Alright, so we're up to 6% Avengers. That's the only outlier, really. Let's start this dungeon. So yeah, we have we have a time limit of 21 days to complete this dungeon. That's not, I wouldn't say expected, but that's an idea of how long these dungeons are. The fact they give you that much potential time. And yeah, we are playing with advanced modifiers, which means we're going to have things like, when we hear that sound we heard there that wasn't the ghasts, that means that enemies are coming for us quite rapidly. As in, they're about to be thrown at me. That's the Vicious Mobs modifier. Generally, you want to deal with things like ghasts pretty quickly. But they will spawn quite rapid. Okay, let's take a detour, actually. I know we just started this, but though something tells me it's going to start pretty fast before I get there. That's the world boss of the region. Yeah, it already started. And generally, after daily reset, which we saw happen like 30 or so minutes ago at this point. 10 minutes ago, actually. Okay, let's go back in. Everyone's gonna run through and fight all the world bosses. Because you get the big reward from the world boss only once per day. After that, you still get some reward, but it's not as big of a reward. Take you out. Yeah, even as a mage, it's a good idea to just give up and pull out a bow sometimes. Bows don't have cooldowns. And since we did this as a delve, which means it's a harder version of it, we're going to find these arcane crystals. The general idea of these is when you get 48 of them, you can buy something cool. That something cool is an epic related to the dungeon. Get back here. And specifically I'm doing this one because this is an epic that I want. It applies to my class pretty well. It's an offhand item that boosts magic damage. Healing. There we go, no more ghasts. I'm also holding an epic right now, actually. This one is a tool which serves as a pickaxe, an axe, and a shovel. And you get that from, you need royal crystals and, another thing. Or no, not royal crystals, you actually need a lot of money and another thing, which you get from clearing world dungeons, the, points of interest. Oh, nice. I don't often actually get the arrow to actually reflect that attack. Take him out fast. Trident throwers, just like Minecraft, are a pain. And yeah, the first time anyone does something, you'll see that it makes a global notification. Generally, a bunch of people will congratulate that person. Block that. The best of our ability, at least. Guardians are a little bit of a pain. There we go. If it's a pain to fight in normal Minecraft, it's probably a pain to fight here. Generally, you're dealing with normal Minecraft enemies. Maybe with some modifiers like extra projectiles, but outside that, it's generally normal Minecraft enemies. Nope, that's not good. That needs to die. Right, we're gonna back off and let our health regenerate until we can spread. There's no enemies around, but if there were enemies around, that signifies he's about to throw them all at me. That's one of the delve modifiers we chose. Oh, and that signifies the boss has disappeared. Take cover, I'll eat his heart to restore my health, and look at its distance. Luckily I managed to just spam a bunch of high damage spells at it, so I killed most of it. But for the most part, I do not want to be near one of those things. Ah, there's a Leviathan there. That was scary. Those are from when any enemy at all dies. They have a chance to spawn a Spectre. That's where they came from. Which is one of the delve modifiers we chose. That's not a normal thing. Thought I saw gas legs there. Or whatever you want to call those things that dangle below them. Yeah, whenever you're in a dungeon, you can see the status of other people in the dungeon. So anyone who dies in light blue, I can see that they died in the chat. Even if they're not actively in my dungeon. Block that. There we go. Yeah, it's important we check out these gas spawners because they actually spawn fairly frequently relative to how deadly they are. And that's a chivalrous enemy. Sometimes they'll be riding bees, which is fun. Though sometimes you get lucky and it can apply to an enemy type that doesn't operate well on a mount. So it just becomes useless. Or much less of a threat, at least. Put that lapis away. My boat away. Now we have a bunch of stuff in my shoulders right now. But I'm not really looking for loot in here. I want that currency that gets me the epic, but outside of that, I'm pretty much just here for rares and the currency, and I have not seen any rares yet. Rares are, as the name implies, rare. I've cleared entire dungeons and gotten one rare. To note, you're guaranteed one rare. So getting one rare is pretty bad. I've also cleared entire dungeons and gotten like 10 rares. That's the wrong box. I put anything green in that box. Oh, someone's fighting the boss again. I'd join in, but then I have to... I'll give it a shot. Since there's another boss in progress, maybe there won't be 25 people. Valley 3. Time to be useless. Alright, don't need speed potions. I have one speed potion. I need to get more speed potions. I was trying to misclick some stuff because this map and stuff is not going to be supposed to be in here. This is my potion shulker. I don't know if you can rename shulkers, but it's probably a good idea to do that. I just memorize what's in each shulker, or glance to rememorize. And now we just have to sit here and wait till the boss shows up. Oops. Bump my keyboard. I'll go ahead and, because I imagine there's going to be some sound effects here, I'll turn down the system volume to like 60. Because there's a bit on the loud end. And this is going to make it a lot louder. Oh, speaking of which, do I have healing potions on me? That's something I'm going to want. So this is the boss where I got this from. And what this does is when I eat it, it instantly fills my hunger and fills a large chunk of my health instantaneously. But it has a 15-second cooldown. So you can't rely on it for everything. Which is why I still have the 7-grain loaf here, which is infinite bread. And when that's not enough, I have stacks of steak in this disorganized box. There we go. Now I also have this, actually, just added somewhat recently, if I swap in main hand. This is how the world normally looks, but pretty early on you can get a dark vision potion. And always have this active pretty much. Technically, torches do still do the thing where they make spawners spawn less, but I've never actually bothered doing that. It might be a good idea, I don't know. And the first time I played, this potion did not exist. Instead, you just sometimes find dark potions, or dark vision potions, that last like 8 minutes. And you can buy more, and now you just get that actually in the first dungeon. It's guaranteed. What's not guaranteed is there's also a potion that makes people glow. As you can see, I glow. And I don't actually have that yet. You can see that person's not glowing because they've never drank that potion. But that comes from a certain boss that is also in this area that I have not fought. Or no, I have fought it, but I have not fought it very many times. You need to fight it probably like around 9 times total before you'll be able to get that. You could technically do it in 3, but I'd say 9 is probably a good estimate. And that one is not, the item you need for that one is not limited to once per day, but generally people only fight that one once per day as well. But that doesn't stop you from starting anything. Like right now, someone just randomly started this, even though we fought it already. And as you can see, people showed up. I should also note that monetization is non-existent. There is none. Swiftness potion. Here we go. My distance. You can turn down particles, which I need to do, but I haven't done yet. 1, because it makes it a lot easier to see things, and 2, because attacks like this do cause a lot of lag. Oh. And this is why you actually want to be in third person for this, because I got shocked by lightning on the ground. Lightning. Uh oh. Okay, block that at least. Alright, Spider's dead, let's get back to the boss. Come on, drop down. Generally dies pretty fast. You don't see a lot of people die early on in the fight, unless they're wholly inexperienced. This part we will start seeing people die in the middle, because this dude who gets summoned has that bolt attack that does a ton of damage if it lands. Dang it, I meant to use the other way around. Left click, then right click. Gotta do ice before fire. Primary bolt. I got hit, but I had my shield up, so we're good. My shield is still on cooldown though. And I got hit. The guy in front of me just got obliterated. Someone just defeated the world boss in the second region for the first time. Alright, orange guy's dead, back to main boss. That's lightning. Jump that. I'm getting judgmented. Okay, for this I just gotta run through real fast. Let's see from that far out. It's faster to run around the edge, but if you get hit, you're gonna be in trouble. So, gotta watch out. These guys have a decent amount of knockback. Now, so if you die here, you don't die in the boss. And you see the boss progress while we're gone, because only half the players have to do that. The ground surge is not what I thought it was. Bolt. Yeah, the orange guy is active again, but we're worried about green. Here we need to get to that pillar, which is currently being attacked. Otherwise we're going to take a bunch of poison. And this is the part where everyone dies. Don't be in the circles is pretty much the answer right now. Nope, and don't fall in holes, otherwise you might have a higher chance of being in a circle. Not need anything again. Crap. There's nowhere to go. I'm in a hole. Alright, where are you at, Call? Someone kill him. There we go, he's dead. Yeah, that's first world boss. It's a while till you get to participate in this fight. You gotta clear like 5 dungeons. Door is cleared, so I'll get rid of that extinguisher. And there's my call artifact box. Got some tier 5 items, a potion I don't care about. A potion I do kind of care about. Some currencies. I'll throw that in pink. Another tier 5. And then these leaves. I'll throw those away. And then we'll get out of here. Wait. No, that is right. That is the most simple world boss. I don't know any of the other world bosses because I don't qualify for them. And, you know, that person just used the trident with Riptide. I don't have that. I should probably get one. It would probably help me a lot in certain areas. And using that stuff I've got, I can go ahead and buy stuff from here. Because here you just get currency, you never get the rares directly. The first time you win, you get 4, which allows you to buy 1 item. Every other time after that, you get 1, and you only get that once per day. So it takes 4 days to get one of these items, which I don't want any of them. Also, this is probably the worst way to get Burl Dust, but I mean, technically, you could make it take 32 days to get an epic, or that specific epic, I mean. Minus whatever amount you get from other sources, if you're not using any of these other epics or artifact items. But my advice is the first time you win and get 4 items, you should get this immediately. It's the best thing. That's my healing item, that when I'm low on health I can eat that immediately and get a burst of HP. It's the oh no button. Alright, let's get back to what we were doing. Now that we've done that once, we don't need to participate anymore today. I should note each one of these is a dungeon, sort of. This one is the Alchemy Labs. It's a tutorial one. You can do that as many times as you want. It has no rares. This is a dungeon. 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 This is a roguelike dungeon. You can do this as many times as you want as well. And it does have rares. But reaching the end is pretty difficult. And you do get to go in with equipment. It's not like you don't get equipment, that's not the roguelike part. It's just pretty difficult. And you gotta memorize certain tile sets because the dungeon is randomized. And these last 2 are group, like, boss dungeon type things, where you gotta go in and do a certain objective that really needs to be done as a group. And these can be done as many times as you want. However, you only get a big reward once per day. So the wool ones are all once per week, and the event ones and roguelike one is once per day. Alright, back into our dungeon. Though you can kind of do a thing. When you complete a dungeon, that's your timer for once per week, except for on the weekly reset, which is Friday. That also resets all your dungeons, so any dungeons made prior to Friday can be abandoned and reset after Friday. So you could, if you had limited time to play, for instance, run a dungeon on Thursday, and then log in on Friday and run that dungeon again, and get 2 dungeon completions, and then just not play again until like Thursday. That doesn't actually get you, or right now, that would still be the same dungeon completion. Say you wouldn't play again until the following Friday. So that would only apply once, but that would get you 2, and that would be somewhat time efficient, I guess, but it doesn't actually get you more time, or dungeon attempts or anything. It's just more about optimizing your time. If you had limited time to play. And you haven't already completed the dungeon that week, because obviously, yeah, that doesn't work if you've done the dungeon that week. This only applies if you have not. My eventual goal is obviously, as I said, I want to collect everything, so eventually I'm going to have to get all these epics. Which means I'll have to get 48 items from each dungeon. On average, you'll probably get around 12 or so. Maybe a bit below 12, so since you need 48, that means you're probably going to need like 5 attempts. Or not 5 attempts, but 5 dungeon clears. So it'll take 5 weeks to get a dungeon epic, probably. Which sounds like a lot, but at the same time, epics are pretty much the best stuff. And epics will even carry over into the next chapter, pretty much, is how effective they will be. The only thing that will probably beat them is the next chapter's epics. Assuming any of them actually apply to you. As a mage, I'm very specifically looking for certain stats, so... Did I loot this chest? Or was I distracted? These enchanted books don't do anything, they're just randomly there. Chest filler. There's a decent amount of chest filler, especially in delves, because the food gets replaced with rotten flesh. Because normally you can get a lot of food out of a dungeon, but if you're doing delves, you get none. We already got these. And eventually we'll get out of this cave, won't be in the actual dungeon, this is just the beginning. The actual dungeon is a lot more neat. Right, let's hope this gas didn't spawn, because I got distracted. Nope. Okay, it's dead already. One of these times I remember ice then fire. Not fire then ice. Crap. I don't know what that was. But we've died for the first time, which is a good time to explain death. When you die, you leave behind a grave. Also, when you die, your items are shattered. What it means is you have a 20% reduction to everything. Or weakness, and you have 20% weakness and vulnerability is what I meant by that reduction. You can either go back to where you died, or you can use repair anvils to remove a stack of shattered. Shattered stacks up to 3, and when it hits 3, it immediately becomes very bad, because you get hit by mining fatigue. Like an insane amount of mining fatigue. If you have anything with Shattered 3 on you, just stop. And Return to a Grave only removes 1 level, so if I'm going back to my grave and I die on the way, then I'll have 2 levels of Shattered, and then when I claim it, I'm still going to have 1 level of Shattered, and I'm going to have to use anvils on all of my equipped gear, which will be 5 total, because each of my equipment plus my offhand. Not my main weapon, though. That never counts. And you might be like, well, that generally shouldn't happen. Alright. You shouldn't take more than 1 Shattered, because generally if you're clearing the path on you, there's not going to be enemies, right? You can actually gain more than 1 Shattered at once. If you die normally, you gain 1 Shattered. If you die in lava, and it should be noted that that's specifically the action of dying in lava, not dying from lava. So if you're lava immune, but you take a shot and die from an arrow or something, you gain 2 stacks of Shattered. If you die from falling into the void, which can rarely happen in some dungeons, you gain immediately 3 stacks of Shattered. I don't want to be here. It's a Heart of Jungle because we're low on health. Hopefully the water is not operating well for this guy either. It's a good thing we didn't kill him in the water, because otherwise he would be a lot better off. He is summoning Hydrolings though instead of spiders now. Yeah, he's dead. That's the elite's turn to new enemies one. It rarely happens, but when it does, those dudes are pretty deadly, at least for me. If you're something that does high single target damage, it's not a big deal. But I do AoEs. I kill everything around and in front of me. Alright, we seem to be clear for the moment. I thought another dude spawned. If this was more of a water dungeon, which there are sections of dungeons that use water, I do have a helmet I can put on that helps me operate better in water, mining spawners, and breathe longer. I keep that on one of my shoulders so I can switch to it whenever needed. Look at that, because I need more swiftness potions. I only have 1 left. Oh, also, I forgot to put this in storage. I have to keep track of those, even though there's no real reason to. Because technically you can go into your personal enchanted book at any time and click on player information. And I think dailies? Yeah, I can see I've completed it 11 times. And I defeated him twice. And I've done 44 King's Bounties, which means I've played for somewhere around 44 days, minus the weekends where you can do 2 bounties. And this is all just first region information. There's also the Isles info, where I've done 10 Isles bounties. And there's more in this book, but none of that is important, so I'm going to delete it. You can summon any opponent with the commands, there's no reason to hold it on you. Now the other thing is, just like Minecraft, when you die, you lose a large chunk of XP. Crap. Okay, time it. Crap. That was unfortunate. That was a 3% chance of happening. The good news is he won't be able to be there when we get back. But yeah, generally, you want to, if you get up to like 50 levels or so, you should turn them into anvils. Because otherwise you'll definitely die at some point and lose them all. This area would be a lot faster if I had a Riptide Trident. I technically do. You can get better Riptide Tridents, but this is the only one I have on me. It's technically material for an item. At this point, it's stopped being relevant. Alright, what have we in here? Just some greens. There's a second thing you do with green stuff, where you can turn it into a different type of dust, which is used to get some items. But at this point I have enough of that, so at this point I just sell it. I've got like, where is it? 25 pulsating dust. That should be enough for anything I need for a while. And here we are, the actual cool part of the dungeon. Or at least the beginning of the cool part. Arcane University. It should also be noted that pretty much everything in Region 1 was made like 9 years ago. There might eventually be plans to refresh some stuff, and some stuff has been refreshed, but most of it was 9 years ago. The current region being developed as the third region. That's not good. Okay, it only destroys that. Another spawner up here. Destroy that, otherwise we're gonna get hit by spiders. And then we'll focus on the ghast. Down here is a boat if we wanted it, but I don't want it. Boy. Kill you. Kill you. Take out that. Crap, something's happening. Oh, we're being hit by a specter. I didn't see that. Well, it's dead now, so it doesn't matter. Again, kill the gas. Everything else will come later. We're in trouble. Yeah, I screwed up there. I accidentally opened the chest and that threw off my combat. Then I thought a shield was going to protect me from a ghast, but they were firing from all directions. Let's get the Riptide Trident back up. Put that back there, store that. I mean, the extinguisher. I have a decent amount of fire resistance on me somewhere. At least I thought I did. Do I not actually have any fire? Oh wait, this is fire resistance, I think. Yeah, until I get my epic, I'm going to be using this as my offhand. The blaze! I can't say anything, I died to a ghast. Ghastly. Bup, 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 bup. Stuff I don't really need, but I'll put in storage. I had great luck with delve materials here. Maybe that'll change. Surprised I found one early enough to show off what they are. I would select to find a rare so I can show off the fact that rares exist. But admittedly, that could just not happen. Alright. There's spawners under these wood slabs. That guy's just gonna be down there, he's not a problem. Baby zombies are a pain to hit. You know, just like regular Minecraft. Go away. Staff. Where's my bread? Coming from above. Crap. Okay, come on, hard jungle. I'm gonna eat it. We're gonna warp there so we can deal with that spawner before it causes more trouble. Never mind, we missed. Oh, we dead. Maybe not. Come on. I think they want to do a second wave. Clear them before they spawn. Alright, for the second we're good. Wait, one more. Alright, we're safe. And there's a ghast, but it's not gonna get me right here. Somewhere. I found somewhere here by scaffold. I don't know where it was. That's fine. That's one of the more terrible ones. Minus the guy behind me. I'm gonna die from... There was way too much going on there. I don't know what happened. I saw the guy spawn, but where did the specter come from? Did someone drown? This is not typically how a dungeon... Well, actually, no, I would say for your first run through a dungeon, you're probably going to die a lot. And there's tough enemies, there's traps, but... Further runs through dungeons that are not done on delve mode, and you have a team of people who maybe, I don't know, includes a healer, or at the very least, you're not taking all the attention. Because everything can be done on solo, but it's going to be tough. Not impossible, but it's going to be tough. I was gonna say that Colossus is still alive. It looks like his bottom half drowned, but the rest of him is still alive. When they despawn. Yeah, I was not in a good environment fighting that guy. If I was on stable ground, that fight would have been a lot better, but fleeing downstream was not a good direction. Neither was staying where I was, but... Alright, let's climb up here and take out this gas before it spawns. One guardian isn't gonna kill me. Alright, what have we here? Still nothing rare. Yeah, the tier stuff isn't terrible, except for the fact I'm way past that point, but of course when you're starting out, tier stuff is definitely good enough to use. And especially tier 5, I'm still actually using some region 2 tier 5 stuff. Because I haven't found a lot of stuff in region 2 yet. I've kind of had terrible luck with my dungeons in a while. I come out with like 2 rares, which, as I said, you have 1 rare guaranteed, so I got lucky exactly once. Is what that means. Alright, what's in here? Aghast. I'm aghast. Alright, you're next. Come on, to know you want to spawn. No? Okay. Alright, there's a bit more over here, and then we're done with this water section for the rest of the dungeon. No more water. It's just at the beginning. Please deal with these 4 spawners. Surely, nothing terrible can happen. Surely, nothing terrible can happen. I had to prioritize dealing damage over defense there because that Spectre was there. Let's eat this. Those might spawn, but once these spawners. That's doable. None of these are ranged. Perfect. Take the potion, at least. This goes into storage for selling later. It's not like I need money desperately. I have 38 hyper experience, which is worth 64 concentrated each. That's a decent amount of money. However, that only applies to the first region. Also important thing to note is, while these rares are rare, every dungeon has a vendor where you can take 2 rares from that dungeon, or any other source of rare, and you can trade them for a rare of your choice. So it's not actually that hard to get the stuff you actually want, versus a bunch of stuff you don't care about. Because it's pretty rare that you're going to want more than 1 or 2 items from a dungeon. In fact, as a mage, there's been some dungeons where I wanted absolutely nothing. Probably stocking this here shortly. Again, this is not going to be a regular thing, this is just me showing off the thing that has kept me distracted. Alright, there's block breaker, there we go. From the floor. Well, let's go destroy whatever spawner spawned them. Alright, you might be wondering why I don't use a shield for projectiles and things. And the answer is that there's 2 types of shield in the game. There's shields that you actually use in your offhand, like you do in normal Minecraft, where you put them in your offhand slot and block with them. And then there's shields that only apply bonuses while they're in your main hand, so I have to manually switch to them. I have the latter, so I have to consciously switch. And that's why I don't often use it to block every projectile, because normally I can just tank it. At least for a second. Long enough to take out whatever spawned said projectile. Oh, got another block break. Are you dead? Okay, good, he's dead. Alright, clearly there's a spawner I've missed. Yeah, there's an ice mage. Uh-oh. Oh, this is a fun one. Alright, you can stay over there. This guy's gonna keep growing and jumping and destroying things until I kill him. So there we go, he's dead. He's not a threat, he just destroys the dungeon. Oh, you don't take knockback. Yeah, anything that doesn't take knockback is my nightmare as a mage. I'm heavily reliant on being able to knock things away from me. Take you out. That leaves one spawner in here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Oh, in the back, right. That cave spider. I wasn't expecting there to be an elite in there. That was my bad, I got greedy. Impatience and greed will always be my downfall. Let's equip this to move faster and gain better water breathing. This is technically an epic. I'm actually holding the second realm version of it, except it's not an epic yet because I haven't completed it. The idea behind this is that you have to clear a whole bunch of dungeons and stuff and find a rare item each, and then you combine them all into one final item that does a whole bunch of stuff, and is mainly used for walking. This only works when you're holding it, and specifically in your main hand. You can't hold it in your offhand. So this is 100% just for navigating. And it should be noted, I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but any gear gotten from the second region, or the third region, does not work in the first. Except for certain items like this, which have the trait Worldly Protection on them, which means they can actually apply in the first region. But that's not accurate. Technically they do apply. The way it works is you get a major negative. You get hit by slowness, you get hit by weakness. I think you get hit by vulnerability as well, whenever you're holding an item that, or have it equipped, that comes from another region. Not counting the spread. But that's because, as I said, these regions are less, like different regions and more like entirely different games that you have the ability to carry your character over between. Is the better way to think about it. I don't know where you were. I bet there's one on the opposite wall too. Yep. Yeah, eventually you learn where these spawners are and you don't get surprised. And this is a material for a patron item. Patron items are not like locked up patrons or anything. Instead, they're items that were designed by patrons. I'm not sure that's still going, but at the time it was. and generally they require some sort of trader to turn them into an actual item. Like this is a material we have, and we need to take the tome and find the trader for it. There's a wiki, by the way. And then we would get an item out of that. And they're generally actually pretty good. It's not like they're weak items or anything. For a while I was using a shield that was a patron item. Alright, this is a trap. The fun thing is that trap chests are a thing. Except this is not right. Okay. There's a tripwire as well. I didn't see that. Not sure where the earth golem came from. But this is the actual trap. And you see that there's a little bit of gravel under this that drops when you open it. So yeah, sometimes traps are not as obvious as just being a trap chest. And traps will range from, oh no I'm blind, to, oh no I'm blind and like 6 creepers just got dropped on my head, to, here's a bunch of damage potions. Or some poison that lasts for a while. Which is probably the least threatening thing that can happen. Still pretty deadly, but out of all the things a trap can do, just some poison is definitely one of the more bearable ones. Typically I find the more deadly traps are assigned to chests, while tripwires are usually more things like here's some poison. Because one is far more avoidable than the other. And when the enemies don't have block break, it is a very valid strategy to just block off a path. Like, if I didn't want to go that way, I could just block that path off and then clear the other side. But since sometimes enemies will have block break, that's not going to help me at all. Instead, I'm better off just trying to keep my distance so they don't spawn. I'm not sure what happened there. I think I just got swarmed or something. There are also checkpoints. I haven't reached one yet, but some dungeons will have checkpoints. Don't always have to go through the long beginning section where there's nothing. And I'll actually say that I'm very near to a checkpoint right now. I just keep dying. Yeah, it's a pretty neat world. Well, pretty neat server. It scratches an itch that, other Minecraft MMO servers did not really for me. I still like the other ones, but this one... Man, this dude's following me. Okay, he's gone. This one just clicks in some way. I think one of the things I like about it is that it's still Minecraft. because a lot of the other ones are kind of hard to stalk all Minecraft in the end. And to a certain degree they're neat, but I could play an actual MMO. But I can't play an MMO like this, I would say. I mean, I can, but I can't. Like, full destruction dungeon clearing MMO, I'm not sure that's a thing. It's the sort of thing that could really only be done in Minecraft, which is something that should be taken advantage of, I'd say. There's also, obviously we're not doing any of them right now, but there are puzzles in this. If you're bad at puzzles, there's guides to solve those puzzles online. But if you're good at puzzles, there are fun puzzles in this. I learned what a Rubik's clock is. It was not a great implementation, but I still learned what a Rubik's clock is. That's probably not a trap. Oh, wait, I see you there. Yeah, it's good, you know, to put your back against the door. You want to know when someone's coming up on you. I actually got this bow from this dungeon, actually. Alright, where'd you come from? Oh, I missed a spawner in there. You know, let's some scenarios where a spawner is put next to a wall. Did I? Couldn't see any of your spawner. Generally, wherever a guy comes from, you can figure out where they spawn from. This guy's being a little weird. I don't know where he came from. I'll just have to work around him. As risky as that can be. Alright, this room can be kind of deadly. But we'll be fine. Yeah, this bow was actually rare that I got here that I then upgraded elsewhere. The roguelike dungeon. There are certain stages where you'll find merchants at the end of every floor, which can be used to upgrade some of your rares. Not all of them, but some rares have upgrades there. And this bow was one of them. It has ice aspect, so it slows enemies down, as well as the more useful aspect of it has sniper. Which means when enemies are further away from me, I do more damage, which is usually a good idea, because that's when I'm using my bow. Otherwise, I'm a wizard, I'll just hit them. And we're almost at the bottom here. I gotta watch out for any surprise enemies. Or, you know, just having a skeleton thrown at me. I'd say that counts as a surprise enemy. I want to clear it fast. I don't want to deal with any of these guys. That guy's riding a slime, that's why he's moving weird. And we'll go back for that chest once this is clear. That guy's tough. Get out of the way. Oh no. Work past you. I'm screwed. Okay, somehow I did not get hit there. Oh, that's not good. That guy needs to die. Alright, he died. Gotta deal with his friends. Oh, that's tough. He left a trail. Might be nice, maybe if it doesn't mean he's immune to ice. There's also, obviously I'm not doing any of the quests, but there is actually a pretty neat story. And it's probably not going to blow your mind or anything, but it's serviceable. Alright, let's start putting in this one, even though I already have stuff in there. I'll remember to take it out later. Gotta hurry. Get up there and destroy this before more. We actually need this for this dungeon. That's a key. Again, this dungeon was made like 9 years ago. So physical keys were more of a thing. I think later dungeons use physical keys less. Alright, I think if I go this way, I'll find a checkpoint. Be careful, because there's a lot of spawners in this area. And even if I clear out the spawners, there's the risk of, whatchamacalls'em, a Colossus showing up. Because I cleared a spawner. Okay, I thought that was an enemy. You're a spider. You also reduce particles, which is probably a good idea. I, again, have not done so yet, but it's probably a good idea. Because Mage creates a lot of particles. I don't know if other classes create nearly as many particles, but Mage creates a lot of particles. Alright, something shot me. Oh, I see, there you are. I had to use my teleport there for some extra damage. Prevent death. Alright, believe it or not a trap, despite the obvious dispensers. Actually, that's a furnace. That's a dispenser. Where you come from? Ah, I missed one. Yeah, generally it's pretty straightforward. When an enemy shows up, you missed one. Well, I'm having some bad luck today. I've not seen a single... Well, other than that one at the beginning, which I used as a demonstration, but I've not seen a single other delve material. Maybe they're all at like the end or something, because they are just randomly in chests. I got destroyed. So what happened there is that the enemies were all below me. And the moment I went down those stairs, they came up on both sides. I tried to get out, but I was too slow. And unfortunately, this is a place where a lot of dudes have projectiles and melee attacks. Some of which will also break my shield. Or, you know, just move around behind my shield is also an option. This needs to die. There we go, no more him. But we are pretty close to the checkpoint. And then we won't have to go through this water section anymore. Once I reach the checkpoint, I'm probably going to stop. Admittedly, I thought that would happen 20 minutes ago, but I did forget how long this first part was. As I said, probably should not be done in one sitting. And there's a reason why they allow you to leave. And also that you can go up to 8 people. Both are pretty clear, not examples, but makes it pretty clear you probably shouldn't be doing this all in one sitting. Alright, he's about to glow red. There we go, he's dead. Okay, let's take out the spawners in here so we don't get surprised. Oh, come on, there's more than that. There we go. The carpet sparkled a little. And I found my second delve material. I should note, I need 48, I have 14. They're definitely not common. Dang, he threw it at me. Having melee enemies thrown at you is always fun. Crap, I thought I killed the purple guy. Also, where do you come from? Is there a spawner? There's a spawner. That Spectre's dead. I think this way is the checkpoint. You know, assuming I live that long. Creepers are also very deadly. You can definitely be one-shot by a creeper, and they use a lot of creepers as enemies in this, well, not in this dungeon specifically, but in some other dungeons there's a type of creeper that actually just explodes as soon as it's in range. And that one gets used a lot. Right, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure there's a guy in here. Crap, we're in trouble. I need to back off. Don't throw him at me. I'm a mage. Oh, they're coming from in here. I didn't think there was any spawners in here. That's a silly assumption to make. There aren't. Okay. Maybe that one just got thrown over here? That's a spawner. It's Ice Mage. It's gone. Here comes a Fire Mage. It's maging. I'm gonna take out the spawner. I think I'm safe for a moment. No, I'm not. There's holes in the glass. Come on. Crap, that's a spawner. Oh no, it's not. I already got it. It's trapped is what it is. It didn't get me, but there's bombs at the bottom of that if that fell in. Alright, unicorn puke. Cool. I actually made this hat out of that. It's a decent enough item, and also a patron item. And I didn't mean to refresh that sorting of that. Let me fix that real quick. I had this in order of the dungeons I got them in. Or at least the dungeon order. It's not the dungeons I got them in, because you don't get them till the second region. What I was actually looking for are my anvils, because my hat's nearly broken. My bow's nearly broken. And my chest piece nearly broken. Which also came from here, actually. Except it was also enhanced in the roguelike dungeon. And I've yet to find anything that surpasses it in this region in terms of magic damage to effectiveness. And also does my right armor stat, because there's two armor stats. There's armor, and there's agility. They have some differences, I don't have to know what they are, but I'm using mostly agility stuff. In fact, all agility stuff right now. And the basic idea is you want to have pretty much all one thing. It's not bad, like it doesn't take away if you have like 7 agility and 1 armor, but it's far better to have 8 agility than it is to have 7 agility and 1 armor. Alright, we're almost to the checkpoint. It's after this. I gotta get to the top of that tower, and then you drop down, and there's a checkpoint. I happen to know there's a trap up ahead. You're not gonna become an elite thing, are you? Okay, good. Let's make sure nothing else spawns over here. You can stay in the water, I don't care about you. You're not gonna be a problem there. Crap. That was what I was worried about. Oh, fine. Just clear the spawners, we're good. Crap, I don't know where that creeper came from, but luckily I have blast resistance, otherwise it would have killed me. I'm screwed. Alright, the dread creature is dead. I'm somehow not dead. That was terrifying. Where are they coming from? Because I didn't see any blaze spawners. I don't know that's a trap. So I'm gonna go around this way. Bink! I'm a wizard. Alright, drop down here. And teleport to the start of the area. But there we go. Bedrock door is open. And unlock door to the spawn room. Ta-da! Checkpoint. Now if I die, I don't have to go all the way through there. Alright. And this is where we put that flower we found. The lily. It looks like we still have a lot more, but we don't actually, because we've cleared a lot of the paths, we just haven't actually gotten the item. Like, I'm pretty sure there's another item in in this general area somewhere, maybe. Possibly. No, there's nothing down there. I think I did say I was going to stop once I reach the next part, and I'm not at the next part yet, so... Can't stop, clearly. Is there... Okay, I thought maybe there was something under that. I'm honestly impressed I've not seen a single rare. Okay, that's where we go later. But for now, did I clear this path? Sort of. Then I went all over here. Did I go down here? Yeah, yeah, that's where I got the flower. I'm pretty sure the rest is up above. That's not my bread. Not dead. I just did that dungeon yesterday. The Grasp of Avarice. It's pretty cool. It had a section where it used some method to make you like loop around the same hallway. And I had to break out of that and go a different way to stop looping around. It's definitely worth putting the time in to reach those dungeons in the second realm. They're all pretty cool. Well, the first ones aren't bad, they're just not as unique. Gotta remember, whenever we destroy spawner, there's a chance of death. And not really, I could live. It's not guaranteed the creature kills me, it's just a high chance. I'm pretty sure... No, not in here, I guess. But there is 2 chests, and that means there's 2 opportunities to gain either rare or delve material. I'm about to get punched in the outback. Predictable. Alright, he's on a slime. It's debatable how effective that is. Alright, he did not spawn an elite. Or, well, he is an elite. He did not spawn a dread. Let's prioritize the spawners. Sometimes it's a bad idea, but other times, right there, it was a pretty good idea. I took everything out before anything happened. Because most of the enemies I think are down there, or I already dealt with them. It really does not want to give me any delve materials or rares. I just want to find a single rare so I can show off what a rare is. And I could just look at my storage. I have plenty of rares. Somehow, believe it or not, I found rares. Alright, that's a spawner. Not bad. No room in there. Gonna grab that. Crap. Alright, should look behind there, make sure there's no spawners. No spawners, no spawners. Oh, there is a arcanist. Luckily the ice mage is not immune to magic. Aw, dang it, this dude destroyed the stairs. I was gonna use those. I think I just saw a gas spawner. Yes, please. I was trying to hit them, but I was too short distance-wise. Risky, but he's dead. Okay. Be careful with slimes. They can abruptly leap at you. Generally being meleeed is bad. Alright. I only realized that was there at the last second. Someone's breaking through. I don't know where, but it's happening. Through the floor, maybe? The wall? I think they came from over here. Yeah, they did. Let's make sure this is clear. Actually, this is clear because there's stairs, except you came from somewhere. Where'd you come from? Hey, someone destroyed my stairs again. Must be something over here I missed. Well, now I'm just confused. This say you tank a fireball. Alright, you came from somewhere over here. There we go. Destroy this, back off. Take him out with range. Fall in a hole. That's an elite blaze. Probably does some extra damage. Alright, destroy that. We are very close to the end of this. Sounds like the gas just drowned itself. Alright. They fly. Oh. Alright. And that's done. Gotta watch out, I think I see a dark mage up here. I'm in trouble. No, I'm good, okay. Wasn't there yeah, I was gonna say there was a second spawner. And a third. Alright, we're clear. Gas fruit, I think we need that for something maybe. I'll throw it in that chest. Everything else here is normal. I think gas fruit might actually have use. Here's the key we need. Only one left, and I'm pretty sure I know where it is. But I am going for a thorough clear, so I gotta make sure I clear over here as well. But I do actually want things in chests. I'll destroy this. The fruit. I don't think there's anything above or below me right now, it's just this room. That's some bad luck. The first time I went in here, I found 7 rares. It's not like some built-in, like, get good luck first time or anything, because also, like, most of my dungeons I've done in the second zone have been very bad luck. I'm on a string of bad luck. Well, actually, there was one I had decent luck in, but it wasn't one I cared about. It was a cool dungeon, though, but it did not have any loot I cared about as mage. I think the only thing that might have been interesting, I had better gear, because I had, something else. Alright, that's clear. I think the last piece might be up here. I do need to watch out, there's some traps here. And by traps, I mean creepers will spawn above me. Right there. I mean, that's a type of trap. Dropping creepers on your head is a trap. Oh, this is actually a checkpoint. This is not where it is. Okay, in that case, there's only one branch left it could be in. So I could have found that checkpoint earlier than I did if I just went up here. I actually found the second checkpoint. But we're actually going to head down these stairs again. Well, what's left of these stairs again. We're going to make our way down this ladder. Where apparently some chaos happened. Of course. It's lightning to take those guys out. They don't feel like running that way. I don't know how secure it is. It actually looks fairly secure. Alright, that's clear. I'm guessing this is just loot, yeah. Nothing cool there. I appreciate the extra money, but it's not what I'm looking for. Uh-oh. No, wait, there's one path I haven't gone up. Also, something's coming. But I'll deal with that when it shows its face. Yeah, I got distracted and went down here after they broke through. There's still this whole path here. Are they below me, or are they... Despite everything, I'm still a squishy mage. There used to be someone below me. I kind of hit them with that spell through the floor, wherever they are. Alright, there's the skeleton. Crap, someone's breaking through. Here they come. I screwed up there. That's fine. Guess what? Shortcut. I thought I was backing into the hallway, but I backed into one of the bedrooms instead. So I left myself in a dead end. Also, for a 1 day, or maybe 3 day, I can't remember what it is, 1 to 3 day period after you make a dungeon, you can invite anyone who does not have that dungeon active as well, which is how you do things as a group. Alternatively, you can have them join you while you're making the dungeon. But that lets you join them, or that lets them join you after you've already made it. I was standing on that. That could have gone bad. Come on, we're almost done here. Pretty sure the last item we need is in one of these rooms. That's the spawner. Believe me, there are rares in this game. I'm just having terrible luck. But they do exist. They could all be at the end, that's always possible. We're only like maybe 40% through this dungeon. Which again, as I said, these dungeons are long. Not one sitting. Unless you're crazy, which I am, and have done a few of these in one sitting. But generally, you probably shouldn't. Technically, this is only as hard as it is because I'm running it as a delve. If I wasn't running it as a delve, well, I wouldn't be getting delve materials, but it would be easier. Alright, I didn't see what we were looking for. Oh, I think it's over there. I had to turn around here because we were dealing with all the enemies. But I'm pretty sure it's down here. Yeah, I recognize this room. It's at the end. I pray no one threw something at me while I did that. Of course, you spawned an enemy. Crap, I thought the other one shot. Alright, I can tell I have no health right now. But most of the enemies have already spawned, so as long as I take out the spawners, there should only be a few more enemies. I lied. Oh, that was close. If I didn't eat that, I'd be dead. I still might be dead, though. Alright, dodge that. You better not spawn a dreadling. Alright. Kill you. Can't aim. Is that all of them? I think that was all of them. There we go, we got the flower we needed. Let's go turn this in. So yeah, we're pretty much at the end here. I'm going to turn it in, and then we're going to be pretty much done. Is this way. And then I believe this way. And down here. And this way. You could leave a trail of breadcrumbs, but I'm relatively decent at fudge. I'm relatively decent at navigating. Not good at memorizing that there's a trap there, but relatively decent at navigating. I'm surprised I didn't just die, honestly. I figured at least one of those explosions was going to hit me in the back. Well, it's probably a good idea to bring shears if you want to cut those. I mean, honestly, you should bring shears for spider webs, because sometimes you gotta break those, right? I teleported. So bringing shears for tripwire is a good idea, too. Instead, I just have this sword I use for cutting web, but I don't use it as a sword, so yeah, I should get shears. Alright. Got that. And the ancient orb. It's open. We've made it to part 2. There's some more there. But, let me just peek at it. Ta-da! So the idea here is that there's the 6 crystals in all of this area that I have to go find and destroy. And then at the bottom, there's the exit way below all that. Surrounded by a bunch of void, I have to be careful not to fall in. And then I reach the end, and then everything's done. But we are gonna leave, actually. This is a stopping point. I'm just gonna look at some of the rare stuff instead of getting some rare stuff, I guess. Here's the rare trader. For a while I was using this hood, it was pretty decent. Had feather falling and mending. I'm not using it anymore. This is the vestment that I used to have, but I upgraded it. And there's stuff for other classes. This is for the alchemist. Or no, actually this is for the alchemist. This is... No, this is for the alchemist. And that's a staff I never used. Some melee stuff. There's Arcane Storm, which is the bow I'm using, except I upgraded it to Xanatul's Sky Storm. This tome is probably the first instance of finding a one that is actually a slow one versus a fast one, because most ones are pretty fast, as you can see here. 4 attack speed, 4 damage, versus 1 attack speed, almost 9 damage, and 40% spell power. But I don't know what ineptitude does. I've never picked up an item with ineptitude. But there's some pretty handy stuff. Rares are usually pretty good, and when you can upgrade them, they're even better. And this goes from Projectile 2, Blast 2, Magic 2, Fire 2, Unbreaking 4 to... Paraspicity I added myself. Unbreaking 5. Extra magic damage, I think is actually the only difference. It's not a big upgrade, but it's still the best item I've found for a while in my chest slot. I haven't found anything to replace it in Act 2. But yep, that's the game. It's pretty neat. This is, as I said, gonna be a one-off. I'm gonna head back to my plot. Show off my Arcane Rivalry chest, because we didn't find any rares. This is what I found, not counting the stuff I've traded in, because anytime I find a duplicate, I trade it in. I've only done this dungeon twice. It's got Magenta. Some of this stuff isn't rare, it's just uncommon from Magenta, which usually means you can guarantee that you find it, it's just hidden, or otherwise provided to you. Orange stuff. White stuff. I have a lot of white stuff, despite having only done white twice. Same with yellow. This is all from my first attempt at yellow. Minus I got 2 of these. I was using this for a long time. This is the wand I was using before I got this sword. I'm still not sure if I actually like this versus the wand. It's nice, but it is slower. And yeah, this is Ephemeral Corridors. I don't have very much for here. This is the roguelike dungeon. And there's a whole bunch of extra stuff. I was planning to put books in here. I haven't actually moved all the books over yet. I got distracted. I wanted to get back to dungeons. Then I've got like all my tier 5 stuff in here, and a second chest for it. For a while I was using this as my offhand, but then I finally replaced it with this. Uncommon stuff is stuff you're, I believe, guaranteed to find, like I said. But they'll be hidden in areas, like, usually attached to a point of interest, is where you find most of this stuff. Or from trading. Uniques come from quests, usually. I think sometimes you might find them... No, I think all these came from quests. I don't think any of these came from the world. So yeah, uniques come from quests. Artifacts are generally pretty rare and have unique ways you get them. Like the ephemeral enhancements, you get that from taking it through the ephemeral corridors and giving it to the trader. Or the emblem of greed, you get that from mimics. And epics are epics. I have a chest here for epics despite not owning any, other than my True North here, which is later going to combine with this in the second zone to make the truest, or not truest, the truer North, which then later combines to make the truest North. And I've got, where's my other epic? My Delabra. This is my mining tool. Got the Reverie stuff, which I don't have very much of it. Stuff to collect. This is everything I've gotten from the Wizard dude, Demon dude, which none of it has helped me, but I've got it. Everything I've gotten from the boss, which, as I said, he doesn't actually directly give you loot, so this chest is pretty empty. But one day I might start filling it up with stuff. This is one I haven't actually completed yet. This one I've completed twice, but haven't gotten any loot yet from it. Because that's another one where you get currency rather than items directly. And I wasn't interested in any of them. This is one that I did for something specific, but I haven't run it in a while. It's actually a pretty short one relative to the rest. It's probably the shortest of the first area. It still takes or has a week limit. This is the stuff I've gotten from gambling. To be clear, gambling is all using in-game currency. One of these hyper experiences is 16 spins. Some of this stuff can be good, but by the time I got most of it, I didn't really care. However, nothing is stopping me from changing my class, and a lot of this stuff is going to be useful. And it's just the general Valley rares. I need to trade this one in. Trade duplicates. For a while I was using this. And yeah, here's all my stuff from later. This is the one dungeon that gave me more than one rare from the Valley of Forgotten Pharaohs. I got 6 rares out of it, and haven't traded them in either. These are all uncommon because I traded them in for something else. I got 2 casino items from there, some lime rares. A unique item. Yeah, a lot of this hasn't been organized yet because I'm going to organize it later. This is my like 5th pair of these boots. I don't know why I keep getting specifically these boots. But I need to trade them in. This is like pink rare I got. And here's the purple rares that I shoved in at the beginning. Some unique stuff. Potions, potion, more potions. Somewhere in here I have a guy's head. Yeah, here's a guy's head. I can hold it in my offhand for stats, or I can put it on my head for stats. Here's a bow I probably actually should be using in Act 2, except I have a better bow, but if I didn't have a better bow, that does fire and ice aspect. Seems made for me. Lots of loot to be collected. This is all from a murder mystery quest I had to do. That was pretty neat. The answer is pretty obvious at the end, but it was pretty neat. Bunch of old quest items. tier 3 or tier 4, 5 stuff from the second area. Bunch of uncommon stuff I haven't organized yet, because I used to just have a bunch of chests in the center, and then I made this structure here to store all my Region 1 stuff. With more uncommon stuff. Yeah, I hadn't finished putting all the stuff in there. I got bored. I wanted to run dungeons. Bunch of books. Bunch of stuff. Patron stuff. Random quest item, actually. Somewhere in there. Dark Amber. Lots of stuff. Got all the wools from the second zone that I haven't turned in yet, because I need one more wool. A key I will use eventually. A second key I will use eventually. Those are for boss stuff that I haven't done. There's this knick-knack sack, which I have access to some things in. There's a beast area. The season pass, which is going to be ending soon, in 2 days. I didn't get very far because I started like 2 weeks ago. Maybe 4 weeks ago, actually. I started like 4 weeks ago. And a lot of things I couldn't do. Like that's, I'm pretty sure that's a Region 3 dungeon. I can't do that. Also, it's a challenge dungeon of that Region 3 dungeon. I've never done a challenge dungeon. I don't know what a Darkest Depths is, but apparently there's an endless version of it. And Architect's Ring is again the third zone, so yeah, I can't do any of these. But the next season pass, I don't know when that will be. But the next season pass, I'll have to see if I can get anything from it. Because I should be a lot more capable of doing the missions now that I'm like halfway through. I probably ain't halfway, but I'm much further along. But again, I probably should have stopped by now. I'm like an hour over. I just got distracted clearing that dungeon. Tomorrow, when I stream at this time, I'm not going to be streaming this at all. Don't worry. This was entirely just a one-off thing. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to play Silk Song finally. I've been putting that one off for a while just because I still don't actually know what I'm going to do with it. But I'm going to play Silk Song next time. Tonight, I'm going to be playing Kingdom Hearts, the second one, finally. We finished Twilight Town, so we're going to be getting into the actual game now. And Twilight Town isn't bad, but it's long. It's long and full of cutscenes, which makes me feel really awkward when I'm supposed to be saying things, and instead, like, 2 hours of cutscenes play. But anyways, yeah, I'm done here. Thanks for watching. At some point I'll probably clear that dungeon, but I'll do it on my own time, because yeah, I'm not going to return to this or anything. It's entirely just a one-off thing. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.